Hari Om. We shall chant from verse number 23. Shatayusha putra pautran vrinishva bahun pashun hasti hiranyamashvan bhumer mahad ayatanam vrinishva Swayancha jiva sharado yavadichyasi Etattulyam yadi manyase varam Vrinishva vittam chirajivikancha Mahabhumau nachiketastvamedhi Kamanam tva kamabhajam karomi Ye kama durlabha martyaloke Sarvan kamansh chandata prarthayasva Ima rama sarata saturyaha Nahi drisha lambhaniya manushyaih Abhirmat prattabhi paricharayasva Nachiketo maranam manuprakshihi So Nachiketa asked this third boon that I want to know what happens after death. Whether something remains or nothing remains. Is it that we have all come from Shunya and then go back to Shunya? Or is there something which is substantial, which doesn't change, which exists? And if it is there, what it is and how one can realize it? All this are implied in Nachiketa's question. And this is a very subtle subject, and it can be comprehended only by those who have the qualification which can be acquired by following the initial sadhana of karma yoga, upasana, etc. So Yamarajji wanted to test Nachiketa. So he offered him, other than this boon, he said, you ask for anything else. A long life, lot of children, grandchildren, lot of wealth, and a lot of land. He says, if you have anything else in mind, you can ask for that also. And I can also offer you something which is not possible in this world, rare things, rare pleasures which are only available in the higher worlds. I can offer them to you. I can make you experience all those pleasures. And but please don't ask me about this death and what happens after death and what is the nature of that supreme truth. So when all this was offered to Nachiketa, what did he do or what did he say? That is a very beautiful reply now he gives. 26th mantra. Shvobhava martyasya yadantakaitat Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejah Api sarvam jivitam alpameva Tavaiva vahastava nritya gite श्वोभावामर्त्यस्य यदन्तकैतत् सर्वेन्द्रियाणां जरयन्ति तेजः अपि सर्वं जीवितम् अल्पमेव तवैव वाहास्तव नृत्यगीते. Nachiketa says, all that you are offering to me, the wealth and long life and all these various pleasures, all of them or whatever else also one can imagine to have, they have one defect in them. All the pleasures or all the achievements of this world, they have one defect. And what is the defect? That they are not lasting. They are ephemeral. They will not be available tomorrow. Shvo abhavaha. Shva means tomorrow. Tomorrow it is not available. It is not available. The very next tomorrow is just symbolic. It is not available the next moment. All the time. If we have wealth, it will not last, or even maximum it might last till our whole lifetime. Lifetime itself is temporary. Whatever position, name, fame, everything is ephemeral. It is not lasting. And as soon as it goes, sorrow begins, trouble begins. Suppose a person has enjoyed his life, let us say his ayu is 100 years, 90 years one has enjoyed his life, 10 years he is suffering, he will remember the 10 years. Even if we have enjoyed a lot, few moments of sorrow becomes more, sorrow also doesn't last, but that we remember. And also, whatever we have, it just disappears. So, shobhava martyasya yadantakaitat. He antaka is referring to death as antaka, one who brings to an end to everything. Our life comes to an end. Not only life, everything comes to an end. Even when we buy a medicine, the expiry date is written on that. Everything. So our life also is expiry date is written when we are born. So that which is absolutely temporary, what is the use of gaining that? And also without putting forth effort, we keep acquiring things in this world. See, without putting forth effort, we get sorrow. In the same way, without effort, we get joy also. In fact, without effort, this joy and sorrow keeps coming in our life. So, for the mortal, all these are very, very ephemeral. Even in the Swarga Lok, as long as our punya is there, one can experience the joys, the pleasures of Swarga. But that also comes to an end. And when it will end, we don't know. Even this life which we have is not only temporary, but it is also like a suspense. When it comes to an end, how it will come to an end, nobody can tell, including the Jyotishis. Afterwards they might say, उसका शनि भारी हो गया उस पर. But otherwise it's all suspense. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvat jivitamatishaya chapalam. In Bhaja Govindam, Bhagwan says, Shankaracharya, that life is so chapal, like water on a lotus leaf. One moment it is there, next moment it falls off. So all that you are offering me is absolutely temporary. What is the use of taking this? Because when we have choice, see those people who don't know what else is there, then this itself becomes great. There is a very interesting story in Mahabharata wherein Dronacharya was a very poor Brahman and his son Ashwathama, whenever he demanded or wanted milk and all, his mother used to put some atta in milk and in water and give it to him as milk. And he used to enjoy it. That must be the first milk powder, but it was not exactly milk powder. So just some maybe chawal ka atta or something. Then one day he had real milk in Duryodhana's place or somewhere. And then he said, I don't want to drink this. This is no good. So when we know, when we can compare, then we know what we are asking or what we are getting is not good. But when people don't know about it, then whatever we get, we feel it is good. Our life is good, whatever little pleasure but there is tremendous potential in us to gain that which is eternal, that which is everlasting. Every one of us have got this potential. So all these pleasures, Nachiketa is saying they are temporary. And even when we experience those pleasures, what do? They slowly reduce the power of our senses. Through the senses we experience those pleasures. And as we experience, the power of the senses stage keeps on reducing. So what little thing is to give us pleasure, now even if it is doubled, it doesn't give us pleasure. Because the senses, they have become weak. You put 1 chammach of sugar in this tea or something, it tastes sweet. But once the senses becomes weak, then 2-3 chammach also doesn't taste sweet. Just an example. Similarly, in the good old days, maybe when the senses were more powerful, little bit of joy, little bit of pleasure one would experience more in it. But as one grows, as one indulges, then even if more pleasure is given, still that person is not satisfied. Not because the very defect, because the senses become weak, the mind becomes weak, because those are the instruments through which we experience this. So sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. So these pleasures destroy the teja, the brilliance of all the senses. And when all the brilliance of all the senses are destroyed, we become incapable of attaining anything higher, anything subtler. Then we become more and more useless only to acquire, to attain the supreme. So sarvendriyanam jarayanti teja. These are the defects. And when we see defects in the sense pleasure, one gain vairagya. The mind withdraws from them. So this is also a technique by which one can gain vairagya. It's called dosha drishti, finding defect in the sense pleasures. And even a long life, Nachiketa says, sarvam, api sarvam jivitam alpameva, even a long life also comes to an end. This long and short is also relative. See, compared to the life of some lower creatures or what you call those beings and all, our life seems to be quite long. If you compare with the life of a bird or a butterfly or a mosquito, our life is quite long. In our lifetime, we might have seen so many generations of mosquitoes. But we don't feel that, I have a long life. The longest life also seems very short, is also short. It also comes to an end. There are stories in our Puranas where some rishis and all who had long life, they also feel that it is short. Even devatas, they feel their life is short. So api sarvam jivitam alpameva. Our life also, as Every day it keeps on reducing. Every moment it keeps on reducing. All of us are as though going rapidly towards death. So api sarvam jevitam alpameva. Therefore all that you have offered me, it makes no sense. It is not something permanent. It is not something which one should ask after getting a chance of getting something more, something much more valuable. Something much more valuable. So, Tavaiva Vahas Tavanritya Gite is a strong statement, powerful. Nachiketa says, all this dance and this chariots and all, you keep it for yourself. You keep them for yourself. Tavaiva, Tava Eva, let them be yours only. I am not interested. I don't want them. I don't want to return from here with chariots and apsaras and all and roam around in my locality like a foreign return person, or like a neo-rich. I don't want to do that. It doesn't make sense. Neither it did not make sense before, it doesn't make sense now also. Only for those who are senseless, it might make sense. Appear to make sense. So Tavaiva Vahas Tavanritya Gite, keep this dance and chariot for yourself. I don't want them. It's very... And then Nachiketa also tells him that whatever you have offered, anyway I have it or I will get it. He says in the next, very interesting, he says, Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo lapsyamahe vittamadrakshma chetva jivishyamo yavadishishyasi tvam varastu me varaniyassa eva na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo lapsyamahe vittamadrakshma chetva na vittena tarpaniyo manushyaha. This very famous statement. I mean, famous for those who study the Upanishad and all. Ki na vittena tarpaniyo manushyaha. That human being cannot be satisfied by wealth. And still, many of us, we run after wealth only. He says human being cannot be satisfied. Na tarpaniyaha. Satisfaction, contentment cannot be attained by acquiring wealth or by wealth only. Wealth cannot give us that contentment. Even one may feel content, but it's all temporary. The real contentment cannot be attained through wealth. Therefore, we have stories of great masters who gave up all their wealth also which was there with them. Like Gautam Buddha, like Mahavir, they were born in a royal family. They dropped all their wealth in search of something much greater than their wealth, which was not obtainable with wealth. So human being is not just physical, our body. We are not just our senses and our mind. We are not just creatures, physical, but there is something more to us. And this is not just for, just for saying it, but it's a supreme fact which all the scriptures, they proclaim. So we will not be satisfied by vittena. And when we are not satisfied, we keep on struggling and keep on working towards it. But if we are all going towards the wrong direction, then this dissatisfaction will remain for a long time to come. So na vittena tarpaniya manushya human being cannot be satisfied by wealth. And then wealth is also required for our comfort and for our other interaction with this world, but it is not the ultimate goal of our life. It is not denied, it is not, the scriptures don't say that you become poor or you throw away all your wealth, but they are saying that it has its own limitation. Wealth is required for gaining certain things or interacting with this world, and it might give you some comfort. But to gain that which is eternal, wealth cannot give us that. There is a story in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There was a great rishi, Yajnavalkya, who had 2 wives. So one day he told his wife that I want to now take sannyas. So please give me permission to take sannyas. They said, okay, take sannyas. Good wives they were. Then he said, I have all this property and all the wealth which I have. I am giving it to you both. So you take it and I am going. So one of his wife asked him that will this wealth give me what you are seeking? Will this wealth give me immortality? So Yajnavalkya says no. Wealth cannot give you immortality. Wealth can help you in other things, but to gain that immortality, one has to have tyaga. Na karmana, na prajaya, dhanena, tyage naike amritattvamanushuhu. Only through tyaga, renunciation, we will be able to attain our own self. Even simple thing to renounce becomes so difficult. Even to switch off the phone becomes so difficult. To switch off our ego and to renounce it is an impossible, seemingly impossible task for ordinary people. But there is no choice. Either live like a worm or perform or strive to attain this eternal state of our own self. So lapsyamahe vittam adrakshma chetva. So Nachiketa says you are talking about wealth. Wealth is not something which I should come to you and ask. See, when we go to an elderly person, just by meeting that person gives us something. So having come to you, you will anyway give me something. You will not just leave me just like that. Just as Bhagwan Krishna or Sudama went to meet him, he did not have to ask for wealth from him. Ki thoda paisa de do. That anyway Bhagwan will give. He gives unasked. In fact, all the wealth and anything we get is given to us by Bhagwan only. If he doesn't want to give, we will not get it, whatever we do. And if he wants to give, it will come to us, whatever happens. So that faith should be there. Even in Bible it is said, you strive to attain God, and whatever you need will be given to you. Not exactly in those words, but it is said. In Gita also Bhagavan says, those who constantly contemplate on me, I take care of them. Ananyas chintayanto mam. So I take care of them. So here he says that lapsyamahe vittam adrakshma chetva, that having seen you, I will get wealth. You will give me. So that I don't have to ask for it. It will be like wasting a boon to ask for wealth. You will anyway give me. And jivishyamaha, and the long life you were talking about, that also I will get. As long as you are ruling, I will have a long life only. You will not take away my life just like that. So jivishyamaha yavad ishishyasi tvam, as long as you are ruling. See, even the yama is a post. It's a post which is attained by a jiva who acquires that particular what you call spiritual evolution and punya and all. They attain that post. But it is also not a permanent post. So after some time that Yamraj also retires or goes to a higher loka and somebody else becomes Yama. So as long as you are ruling, because if you promise next some Yama comes, he might cancel the whole thing. Just like what happens in government also. One government they promise something, another government they throw away all the statues. So you never know. Nothing is lasting. Government itself doesn't last. What to talk about statues? So, Nachiketa says that as long as you are ruling, I have no fear of that. He is just saying that because not that he was interested in this wealth and all, but he says that this is not something which I have to ask. It is like an insult also of Yamraj. Suppose I go to someone's house and say that okay, ask for any boon, and I say first boon, give me some water to drink. Arre Baba, that we will give anyway. So similarly, long life, lot of wealth, anyway I will get. For that I don't want to waste my boon, but I want to know the secret of life and death. I want to know what remains, if something remains, what remains after death. Varastu me varaniyasya eva. This alone is the boon I have chosen and I choose. I crave for this boon alone. I don't want anything else. Such firmness. See, this first chapter or this first Valli section is meant only to reveal the greatness of the Shishya and the qualities required, because that is most important. Because many people want to just follow certain things without gaining that proper qualification. So these qualities are very important. And once we have these qualities, the path becomes simple. Further, Nachiketa justifies his asking this boon. He says, Ajiryatam amrutanam upetya jiryan martyakwadhastah prajanan abhidhyayan varnarate pramodan ati dirghe jivite ko rameta ajiryatam amrutanam upetya abhidhyayan varnarate pramodan ati dirghe jivite ko rameta. Nachiketa tells Yamraj that having seen what is possible, having experienced what is possible, how can one ask for the little things? He says, Ajiryatam amrutanam upetya jiryan martyaha, a person coming from the mortal world, that is he himself who has come from this mortal world. Martyaha means one who dies. See, we might have long life, short life, but it comes to an end. Nobody stays in this world permanently. Even when Bhagwan takes avatar, he cannot stay permanently. He has to leave. Therefore, it's called Martyalok, dying world. It's a world of dying. Every moment we die. Our cells, they keep on dying. Every moment. So, having come from this adahasta this lower world, which is full of death and everyone dies and decays also. It's not just death, but we slowly and steadily go towards death. So Jiryan Martyaha Kwa Adhaha Adhahastaha, lower world. Having come from such a world and having understood Prajanan, having realized and having compared and seen what Ajiryatam Amrutanam Upetya, having seen the world which is belongs to those who are undecaying, Ajiryatam, this higher world itself, meeting Yamrajji and seeing that world which is relatively more lasting and which is also more what you call, more of the nature of immortality. Or from Yamrajji sensing that there is a world of immortality which is free from all decay, having understood this, having guessed this, having comprehended this, which mortal will ask for a long life? Abhidhyayan Varnarati Pramodat, and also understanding the limitation of various forms and various pleasures and various joys which one can get from these various objects, having understood this, Abhidhyayan, having contemplated and understood their limitation, he says, Atidirghe jivite ko rameta, who will revel even in a long life. Suppose somebody says, oh, you have a long life, that also becomes like a curse only. Many times then, before people, they eat all sorts of things and want to have a long life also. But when the life start becoming too long, then also people complain. Hey Bhagwan, mujhe kab uthayenge? And when Bhagwan makes arrangement, that also they don't like. So either way there is complaint. So long life also is a tragedy only. See, when we don't have anything to do, when we don't have a higher goal, when we don't have something subtler to aspire for, after some time whatever we get, we lose interest in them because they don't have any substance. Temporarily it appears to have substance. But once you taste it and once one goes deep into it, it doesn't have any substance. One comes to know that they are all limited. So, having seen the immortal world, having understood what is possible, and having come from a mortal world, and having understood the limitation of these pleasures and all, Nachiketa says, who will like to revel in a long life also? I don't want pleasure and long life and lot of wealth and keep on living. It will be so boring, so irritating actually. Just imagine, suppose somebody gives you Vardhan that you have a long life, lot of wealth, lot of pleasure and lot of land and everything. Kya karega wo? What that fellow will do? Keep on living, every day getting up, reading newspaper. And then that fellow will know everything, what happened 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Long life. He will become like a historical this. Also, a tourist attraction, people will come and take photograph. So who will revel in a long life also? This is a very temporary place and we have the capacity, we have the potential to attain something much more than what you can imagine. So that is what Yamraj, our Nachiketa is trying to express. He says, I don't want anything of this world now. I want only that. So he says, this last verse of this section. Yasminnidam vichikitsanti mrityo Yat samparaye mahati bruhinastat Yoyam varo gudhamanupravishto Nanyam tasman nachiketa vranite Yasminnidam vichikitsanti mrityo Yat samparaye mahati bruhinastat. Hey Mrityo, O Lord Death, please tell me about that only. Yasmin nidam vichikitsanti mrityo, about that which human beings have lot of doubt. There is so much of confusion in their mind about this life and death. See, however much we have doubt, and always it's like a mystery, but always in our culture as a humanity also, always there is this belief that yes, something exists even after death. So in the Egyptian culture also they had this belief. They used to put that body in that pyramid and all, along with so many wealth and everything they used to keep. That after death, when he goes, he will have wealth, he will have all his nokar chakar also. So the best cook and best all those people were also kept along with the king. So that belief is there, but nobody is sure about it. Because through our senses, we will not be able to comprehend it. We can't go through the senses in that world. It's just like sleep. Wakefully, one cannot go to sleep. Everyone experiences sleep, but nobody can be totally awake and alert in sleep. Because sleep is that which one experiences only when we go beyond our senses. Similarly, this death is very strange. It's not comprehensible. So there is lot of doubt. So yasmin idam vichikitsanti mrityo yat samparaye, that great going beyond, mahati, great, bruhi nastada, please tell me about it. Bruhi, because you know about it, so you please tell. Yoyam varo godham anupravishta. This is very subtle subject, very difficult to comprehend, and I have this great opportunity of meeting you, so please tell me this only. Na anyam tasma nachiketa vranate. Finally, the scripture itself says that Nachiketa doesn't ask for any other boon. It's final statement that there's no compromise. I don't want anything else. So thus this section concludes, but through this section, as I said, the qualification of a student is revealed. In Vedanta, there are these 9 qualifications mentioned. We have those who have attended Tattva Bodh. How many of you have attended Tattva Bodh? Very good. Those who have not attended, ask them. Otherwise, I will tell you briefly. So there are these 9 qualifications. Vivek, Vairagya, Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, and Mumukshutvam. All these qualifications we see present in Nachiketa. If we want to attain that state of enlightenment which Buddha attained, which Mahavir attained, which so many other great masters attained, it is our birthright. It is what is our ultimate destination. It is something which we have to attain before the body drops off. It's an opportunity. It's a small window is there, which we have to make use of it. If we don't make use of it, the life anyway will get destroyed. It will not come back. What goes doesn't come back. So it's an opportunity, and those who are qualified, see, all may not be qualified for that. All may not be ready for that. That is our evolution. Evolution takes its own time. But those who have evolved, those who have the capacity, they should strive to attain it. So the first thing which we have to know is we should have the power to discriminate and understand what exactly is this goal. We should know what is eternal and what is non-eternal. Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivek it is called. Person should become deeply aware of that which is Nitya, means that which is eternal, that which is unchanging, and Anitya, that which is not changing. All that we see in this world changes, but that should make us understand, our intellect should comprehend through inference that there is something which is not changing. Because the very fact that we are aware of the change, that means the one who is aware of must be changeless. The very fact that we see the change, that means there must be some substratum which is changeless. So the first thing required for a student to comprehend is that there is that which changes and that which doesn't change. Nitya and Anitya Vivek. When we have this Vivek, when we gain this understanding, then we will develop a disinterest in that which changes and an interest in that which is changeless. That is called Vairagya. Vivek gives rise to Vairagya. First, the Vairagya might, elementary level Vairagya comes through seeing defects. But at a higher level, the Vairagya comes when we come to know that the difference between Nitya and Anitya. That there is something which is Nitya, and one develops interest in it, firm. Like we see nowadays that Olympic is going on, so much of determination we see in them. That is a great thing to even watch. Whatever be they are running or jumping or whatever they are doing, but if you look at their faces, if you look at them, you find great determination. Lifting that weight and all, that determination is there. And during that time, when that thing is there in mind, no other thoughts are there. I want this, I don't want anything else. That's called Vairagya. I want this state of enlightenment, I don't want anything else. That can be appreciated only when we have this power of discrimination. So that we see Vivek in Nachiketa he had. He knew about this great truth. He had heard about it. He thought that is the main thing I want to know. He had Vairagya towards everything else. Then Shama. Shama means quietude of the mind, control over our mind. Because the mind, intellect is the instrument by which we have to know that Supreme. So mind should be under control. So that also we saw Nachiketa had his mind under his control. He was not affected by the ups and downs of the world. His mind was steady. Even when the father was doing the yajna, his mind was very calm, peaceful, and he was thinking. So Shama. Then Dhamma, control over his senses. That also he had. Total control. 3 days, 3 nights, he remained there without food, without water. Total control over his senses. So Kshama, Dhamma, Uparama. Uparama, dropping all other activities other than the activity which will lead to one's ultimate goal. So that also we saw Nachiketa had, Uparama. Then Titiksha, forbearance. Forbearance again we saw about him staying there 3 days, 3 nights with all difficulties. So Titiksha, then Shraddha, faith. Faith in the words of the teacher, faith in the words of the scripture. That also Nachiketa had. Shraddha. Then Samadhan, focus. Focus on his goal. I want that and that alone. And Mumukshutvam, intense desire for liberation. No other want, no other desire, only the desire for liberation. So, all these qualities we find, they were there in Nachiketa, and this we understood from this first section. And herein it concludes, and the teaching begins from the next section. इति काठकोपनिषदि प्रथमा अध्याय प्रथमा वल्ली. Now just close your eyes, sit quietly. पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.